A week since Suzanne Morphew vanished, the 49-year-old went on a bike ride in Chaffee County and never returned. Hello, I'm Kathy Walsh. Thank you for joining us. Today, Suzanne's husband spoke out for the first time. The mother of two disappeared on Mother's Day. A neighbor told the sheriff Suzanne never came home from a bicycle ride. Now, searches have located her bicycle and an unspecified personal item. Her husband, Barry, issued a plea today online.
Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you, we miss you, your girls need you. No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you, and I want you back so bad.
Barry Morphew is a volunteer firefighter. He offered a reward of $100,000 and a family friend matched it. Investigators have created a dedicated tip line. It is 719-312-7530.
How's it going, everybody? So let's see who we got in the house. We got Mignon. How's it going, girl? Hope you're feeling better. Angelina ATF. We got Breakfast Club fan dropping the acronym first thing. I appreciate that. Fake Teddy. Norma Thomas. Pink Sugar, Rosaling, Down the Rabbit Hole. All right. So before I get into all this, I don't know if you guys noticed my last live that I did. I took it down because simply because I suck at editing. There was that moment, for those of you who were actually in the chat and you remember, there was a 7-minute gap because my PC decided to reboot just because it felt like doing so. And so I ended up trying to edit it. I've never tried to edit a video in my life. That's why I do these live streams. But I failed at it, and then I just took it down. But I'm going to go over that stuff again because I feel like the stuff that I talked about in that live stream was very, very important, and I feel very strongly about my opinions on those things. So I'm going to end up going over that stuff again at some point. Especially, I had kind of a revelation as I was doing that live stream, and so I've pondered on it quite a bit. So I want to elaborate on it better as well. So it is what it is. We'll figure it out. But we are going to talk about Suzanne Morphew. Now, okay. Some of you are probably thinking, everybody's talking about this. This is another thing. My fascination with it is more along the lines of what the hell is going on in Colorado? Like, why does this keep happening in Colorado? It's very, very strange to me. And so that made me kind of look into this. Again, we're seeing very familiar territory here, aren't we? We're seeing a lot of it was the husband, it had to have been the husband, what's up with the husband? So I'm not, you guys know me, man, and this irritates a lot of people too. Some of yous like it, some of yous don't, but I'm not quick to, so we're going to go over that video. We're going to go over the reward video that he put out, that Barry put out. And, until I'm going to make it abundantly clear, guys, until I know. And again, you guys know me. I like to go over this stuff with you. I don't really like to go and do stuff and then plan a live. I like to just kind of just be out here and just, think out loud with you guys, and it feels to me like a more natural discussion when that happens. So again, I appreciate everybody who's in the chat and joining me, especially at such a late night. But I kind of felt like, especially I was watching Duty Ron's video on this, and the main reason why I wanted to talk about this was because she's still very much missing. And for the first time that I've seen so much, in this particular sense, I'm seeing a lot of actually a lot of encouragement to share on social media and make people aware of this case, just so that in the hopes, throwing a net out there, somebody who has any information will come forward and report it to the FBI. So we're going to be going over we're actually, I'm going to show the FBI number. It's going to be on that video that Barry had put out that people are questioning. And we went through this with Shane Carey. We went through this with Chris Watts, and we're going to go over it again now. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not seeing this going to where I'm going to be like, he fucking did it, because I just don't do that. I don't do that. A lot of people do, and that's cool. That's fine. To a certain degree, I get irritated when people do that. I especially get irritated when YouTube creators do it, because it's just irresponsible. And And I see each case like this also as an opportunity. I see it as an opportunity to go about this in a very, very ethical manner and try to use our platforms responsibly. Now, I realize that there's people out there, there's creators out there with, thousands more subscribers than I do, tens of thousands more, hundreds of thousands more that are talking about this. So it's not going to make much of a difference, but maybe somebody who doesn't watch that channel watches this one. And they share this stuff on social media and they make people aware of it. So hopefully we'll see. But I'm shaky. I'm just, and that's the thing, is just as much, in all fairness, just as quick as I am, or just as quick as people are to go, the husband did it, I'm quick to go, no, he didn't, only just out of spite for those people who jump to that. So it's almost just as unfair, but on the other side of that coin, that I come from this place that's just like, no. But then again, you could look at it in the way that I choose to justify it, which is it's innocent until proven guilty. I need to see evidence. Until I see evidence against this man being a suspect, then I'm going to look at him as a grieving, worried husband and father trying to comfort his two teenage girls, and hoping that this wife that he's had for what I think it's 26 or 28 years, one of the two, they genuinely are just a close family who's missing their mom and wife, and hoping that she comes home safely. So again, I don't care that true crime history teaches us that it usually comes out to be foul play, and then somebody ends up, thank you, Rockabilly Daisy, 26 years. I'm not going to just shake a stick at 26 years of marriage where they seem to be happy. On the surface, I don't know, other stuff may come out later that maybe they weren't, but what marriage isn't perfect. I'm sure we're going to find dirt on them. I'm sure some true crime channel and some Facebook group that's covering this is going to do some digging in social media and start talking to somebody who says that they know this person who knows that person. And then what's going to happen is we're going to find out shit about these people's lives that's none of our business. That's what's going to happen. And then you're going to start, and that's going to affect the court of public opinion. I just am somebody who chooses not to do so. Everyone has the right to do that. Everyone has the right to free speech. Everyone has the right to use their social media how they choose to use their social media. I'm just saying that it's not for me. So I'm going to be the kind of guy, I'm going to be the devil's advocate as usual. And I'm not going to look for reasons to think that this guy is guilty. I'm just going to be the other side of that coin as much as I can with this particular live stream. Just for the sake of argument, I mean, I'm not saying I believe one way or the other. I just feel like it's the right thing to do with the lack of information that we have. So, I'm just saying. Let me read. And I don't write stuff, guys. I just kind of talk about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read an article here, just to kind of bring us up to speed. Okay. So this is from the KK10 11 News in Colorado Springs, CBS affiliate. So search efforts continue for a 49-year-old cyclist in Chaffee County who has now been missing over a week. Suzanne Morphew went for a bike ride on May 10th west of Maysville in the area of Chaffee County Road 225 and West Highway 50. Her neighbors called the county sheriff's office when she did not come home. Morphew's family has said her husband, a volunteer firefighter, was out of town at the time of her disappearance. Now, mind you, people, this is Mother's Day, I believe, where she went missing, and he's out of town. So I've heard people question that and say, what kind of husband goes out of town on Mother's Day? I'll talk about that a little bit more because I have a couple of thoughts on that. Authorities are asking residents in the area to preserve any and all video footage from devices such as Ring doorbells, security cameras, game cameras, etc. from May 8th through May 12th. As of Monday afternoon, the sheriff's office was requesting the surveillance to only be preserved. As search areas are identified, investigators will contact residents in those locations to collect any camera footage. One of the most helpful ways the community can aid in the search of Suzanne Morphew is by preserving these recordings. We are aware that some systems override video after several days, and we want to ensure video remains available if needed, Chaffee County Sheriff John Spees said. Morphew was reportedly an avid cyclist. Now, I'm going to talk about this stuff too. Morphew's husband released a video Sunday pleading for his wife's safe return, which can be viewed just below this article, which we will play. Morphew's bike was reportedly recovered the night she vanished. The Chaffee County Sheriff's Office confirmed Friday that a personal item belonging to Morphew was found just west of CR 225 and Highway 50. County Road 225 and Highway 50. The Sheriff's Office would not comment on what the item was. We're not slowing down the search, and we're not stopping. We are not even considering slowing down right now because of some of that momentum that we think we have. Just to be clear, because I messed that up, I want to read that again so that the context is understood. We are not slowing down the search, and we are not stopping. We are not even considering slowing down right now because some of the momentum that we think we have. Nephew Trevor Noel told 11 News reporter Tony Keith. Noel told Keith that search parties have been out in full force every day. Hours and hours recovering hundreds and hundreds of miles. We're walking every hillside, every mountain, every stream, not leaving any rock unturned. Divers with Pueblo County Sheriff's Office searched water sites Sunday. The Sheriff's Office did not report whether anything turned up. The public is asked not to call Chaffee County Dispatch with questions. Again, people, make sure you don't do that. You don't call 911 to get or give information unless it's an absolute emergency. And some people may differ what they consider to be an emergency is, but I'm thinking a life and death situation that needs help right then and there, because that takes precedence over anything. And again, I shouldn't. The fact that I even have to say this blows my mind. But reminder: if you're calling 911 for that type of information, you're tying up the lines to where somebody who actually has an emergency may need to get through to dispatch. It's more urgent than what you're doing. So keep that in mind before you call 911. Just, as an instinct instead of just Googling the phone number to the sheriff county's office if you have information, or the tip line that they put out. If you have information, use the tip line. To date, more than 100 people have assisted in the search, including personnel from Chaffee County Search and Rescue, Department of Corrections, the Chaffee County Combined TAC Team, 11th Judicial District, Colorado Bureau of Investigation, the good old CBI, the Salida Police Department, the Fremont County Sheriff's Office, the Pueblo County Sheriff's Office, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. In a news conference Friday following a large-scale search that shut down Monarch Pass, Spies said the case was still considered a missing persons case. Obviously, as time goes by, it gives us concern, but we are searching as though she's still alive, and we do believe she still could be alive, he said. Spies, so he was abundantly clear about this. He reiterated, we still believe that she could be alive. So again, guys, remember, I want to keep this in mind, people. And I felt this way with the Gannon Stalk case. Although everybody was right about Letitia, that doesn't make a difference, because before that, we didn't have enough information. So keep in mind that when you're drawing conclusions in your mind about what has happened and who's guilty of something, you're already deciding that a crime took place. And therefore, it is impossible for you to actually have genuine hope that this poor woman will be returned back to her family safely. So keep that in mind before you start jumping to conclusions and start making decisions as to who's guilty and who's not in this situation. The right thing for me to do personally, the way I choose to deal with this, is to everybody, until I have enough information, everybody's innocent until proven guilty here. And the energy should be focused on that she is brought home safely. So if you can, share this on social media, share any information that you get on this situation to social media and make people aware of it. And I don't mean the personal gossip stuff. I mean, just put the facts out there. You know, she's definitely missed by a lot of people, and she seems like a very, very wonderful person, a very bright, brilliant person. And when I say brilliant, I mean in the sense that they're brilliant where they want to shine at all times. They want to spread a shine to their environment. She has that glow about her, it seems. So I imagine that the people close to her miss this very, very much. And I would love to see, I would love to have it. It's more productive for me to have hope that those people will experience and see this again, and for long days to come. So we are going to go over the video that Barry put out. I want to make it clear, because there's some people that are talking about that they feel that it's suspicious that this man would jump to a reward and say it's ransom. There's a lot of explanations for that. I don't think that necessarily makes him look guilty. To me, it basically tells me that he's probably preparing himself for the worst. You know, he doesn't think there's any reason why she would just take off for any reason, you know, or run away, or, you know, he's not thinking that. And I think that he's just simply trying to make sense of what's happening and trying to explore all possibilities out loud. Because remember, we saw this with Shane Carey. People were like, he's, you know, there's something off about him. There's something off about him. Well, yeah, there's something off about him. The guy hasn't slept, and, you know, and there's rumors that he had been drinking all night the night before, which you know, is that the right thing to do? Is that the thing that, you know, but at the same time, to me, I'm not going to judge the guy for that either. You know, his wife is missing. His pregnant wife was missing. So, you know, right. Caleb, that's a good point too. Nobody's talking about this either. No reward equals bandwagon declares he's guilty. And by bandwagon, we mean the lynch mob. We mean that online lynch mob that I've been bitching about for months. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if the guy doesn't put out a reward and he's got money and everybody's talking about the fact that he's got money and everybody's saying, oh, well, there's something, come on. If he's got the money, people are going to totally crucify this guy for not putting out a reward because your wife's not worth the money that you have. Rah, 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 rah. So he's going to get it from all sides. So now that he's putting out a reward, people are saying, oh, that's suspicious that he's jumping right to the conclusion that she's been kidnapped. He's not necessarily doing that. He's saying, this is what I have the means to do to get my wife back. This is all I have. I have money. I'm successful. I should put it towards somehow getting her back. Nothing motivates people like money, here we are. We're good people. We're just talking about it because we think it's worth talking about. But not everybody thinks that way. In fact, most people don't think that way. Most people see money as a good type of motivation. And this man seems to understand that. To me, in my opinion, in my eyes, this man seems to understand that. So I'm not judging the guy at all for throwing a ransom out there or a reward or whatever $200,000 is used for. And this is another thing. He puts up 100 G's of his own money, right? But then a family friend, not even a relative, but a family friend who remains anonymous, puts up he matches it, puts up another 100 G's. That's how important this woman is to her loved ones. Why is that so hard to believe? Why is that something to be suspicious about? That makes no sense to me. I can kind of see it. Sure. If he's guilty, then that's something that kind of makes him look guilty. Sure. But I'm not ready to think that the guy's guilty just yet. And it makes sense to me that if the guy has the means to do something that bold, well, I would like to think that I would do the same thing. So, all right, we're going to watch this video. We're going to break it down. All right. Now I'm going to play it like a couple of times. I'm going to play it all the way through uninterrupted once, and then we're going to go over it.
Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, please do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you. We miss you. Your girls need you. No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you. I want you back so bad.
All right, let's watch it again one more time.
Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, please do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you. We miss you. Your girls need you. No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you. I want you back so bad.
Now, some might say that's a bit presumptuous on his end. Some might say, when he says whatever they want, people are like, oh, well, who said that she was with somebody? Again, I think he's just trying to cover all possibilities. I don't see anything suspicious about that. Let's watch it again. Let's watch it again. All right.
Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there.
Now, he speaks of her directly, right? He speaks to her directly. Again, I mean, he doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, who knows what's going on in this guy's head, you know? But if I'm playing devil's advocate here and I'm trying to just see the guy as innocent until proven guilty, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing an empathetic man. I'm seeing a guy who's been married to the same woman for 26 years. She's beautiful. He's good looking. They've got two beautiful daughters. They seem to be happy, successful. She seems to be the kind of person that is grateful for everything that she has. I mean, somebody who takes pride in her in her physicality, not necessarily in the way she looks. I'm not getting a vain thing out of her. I'm getting a person who just is enjoying being a human being as much as possible by staying physical and active and out in the sun. And, you know, she doesn't seem like the type that seems, you know, she's not wearing a lot of makeup. She's just got her hair in a ponytail. She just seems like the kind of person that's just very comfortable in herself and very happy and celebrates life as much as she possibly can. That's the vibe I'm getting off of her. And taking a bike ride. Now, here's another thing. I do find the bike ride to be a little bit suspicious. That the neighbor. That's the only thing that I find weird so far. So far, the only thing that I find completely weird, besides the fact that she is missing, the only thing that I find super weird about what's going on here is the neighbor is the one that reported her missing the same day. Now, we don't know what the details are as far as that goes. We don't know. Again, guys, we've been following these cases lately, and police, they tend to keep things close to the vest. They don't want to reveal too much information. Now, it's probably public record. If she calls 911, you know, they have to come out with that and say, okay, well, she called 911 and reported her missing. Okay, well, but we don't know if Suzanne, before she left on her bike ride, said, if I'm not back at this time, report me missing. We don't know if something like that took place. We don't know if the husband and her have had fights that were loud enough for the neighbor to hear, and then she felt something was suspicious if she didn't come back on time. It could be just something as simple as she goes on her bike rides and she's like clockwork every time she leaves and every time she comes back. And the neighbor found it odd that she wasn't back at the usual time that she sees. She could just be a nosy neighbor that's just looking at, just aware of everything that's going on in her neighborhood. And Norma Thomas, I'm glad you brought that up too. I'm going to discuss that too. The phone. When I realized that the phone was left at home, the phone being left at home is a little suspicious. Absolutely. But again, she left willingly from her house on a bike ride. The neighbor saw her do it, right? Otherwise, she would have. How would have she even known that she was missing, right? So, and he's okay. The fact that she's. Thank you, Breakfast Club fan, for putting that up. The fact that she is. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here by chat. That she was reported missing by the neighbor. It just tells me that the neighbor and her were close. If my gut feeling is that the neighbor and her were close, and I don't know, you know, it's just what makes the most sense to me. As far as her leaving her cell phone at home, I find it kind of weird because my phone, when I work out, my phone is my source for music. You know, I've got my earbuds connected to my phone via Bluetooth, and I go on Apple, iTunes, and I pay for that monthly fee to have access to anything unlimited that's on iTunes. So that's what I use, is my phone for my source of music. But here's a possibility that people are not taking into consideration. Colorado and the area that she's in is beautiful. It's gorgeous. And it's just an abundance of nature around you. Now, if she's the type of person that I suspect that she is, I'd say that she could have easily made a decision to say, you know what? I want to disconnect from the world just for a little while. The whole purpose of me getting on a bike and going for a bike ride is to connect with everything around me. I want to hear the birds. I want to hear an eagle as it soars over me. I want to hear the grass ruffle when a deer runs away. I mean, people look for that kind of solace. People look for that kind of comfort when they go out and they bike ride in areas such as that. It's very, very common. And it's very common to just take nature walks and leave your phone behind because you don't want to be in any way, shape, or form distracted by being one with your environment. It's a very, very common thing. And she strikes me as the type of person that may have wanted to be that could have been what it was. So yeah. Let's see. We're going to continue with this video here.
You hear this that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you, we miss you, your girls need you. No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you. I want you back so bad.
I'm getting the impression, because he said something, whatever they want to get you back, but I mean, he covered every other possibility. Like, I'm getting the impression from this video that this guy is all over the place. His head is everywhere. His head is, she left me. He's hoping that that's the case, that she just left him. He's talking to her directly, saying, Suzanne, if you see this, but then again, so did Chris Watts. So we don't know. You know what I mean? Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to make a point here. When I first watched Chris Watts address her, when he addressed Shanann in the camera, said, just come back. I just want you back. And people were like, well, who giggles? Sometimes there's a nervous laugh. I talked about that too. But the thing is he also, what tipped me off about Chris Watts, it wasn't that. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. It was when he spoke of Bella and Cece in a past tense, when they were supposed to start school. He said something to the effect, and knowing that I'm waiting for them to bust through the door, and I'm never going to experience that again. He said he was never going to experience that again. Why? How did he know that? So I listen for things like that, but there's nothing in this video. There's nothing in this video to indicate any type of guilt. Not in my opinion. Not yet. I'm not saying the guy isn't guilty of something, but I'm damn sure not quick to say that he is. Not yet. Okay, this won't. There we go. Oh, let's watch it one more time, guys.
Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you, we miss you, your girls need you. No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you. I want you back so bad.
Yeah, he's trying to address all possibilities, it seems like here, you know. He doesn't know what to think happened. He's afraid of thinking the worst. I mean, well, that's the thing, fake Teddy. He's not an actor. You know what I'm saying? Like so yeah, I don't find it, the fact that he put up 200 G's or 100 G's and then a family friend matched it. I don't see the suspicion in that. I don't see the suspicion in that at all. I would like to think that I would do the same thing, because I mean, look at the situation. They can't find a body nowhere near the area. They find her bike the same night. I mean, and these areas where she's going, I'm gonna see if I can't. Hold on a second. I'm gonna see if I can't. I'm gonna try to Google Earth the area that 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 this went down. I'm gonna try to. Yeah, I want to see what that area looks like where they found her bike. So where's the? Okay, yeah, launch Earth, launch, you bastard. Because I want to see. I want to see what the area looks like, because I've seen it in other, but I want to look at it with you guys. I've seen it on other videos that were talking about this, and I it seems like a very beautiful area, but it also seems very almost remote, that doesn't seem to have a lot of traffic. So I don't know why Google Earth is taking so long to boot here. It's like taking forever, dude. Okay, something's happening. Okay, it's the new Google Earth. Well, I just wish it wasn't so damn slow. And I want to skip that. And I just want to find this area. And I'm going to do that right now. So what is it? Chaffee County Road 225 and West Highway 50. What was that? 225. All right. So here's. Hold on. 1 second, guys. I got to share this. All right. Now, from the looks of it, like from this aerial, look at this. Now hold on. Let me see if I can narrow it down. Hold on. Because that's Chaffee County Road 225. And we want it to West Highway 50. Okay. But I don't know how to narrow it down. But it doesn't seem like too big of a place. I mean, you can see that it's very remote. It's a very remote area. And I'm guessing there's not a lot of traffic that goes through here. I'm guessing that there's not a lot of traffic that goes down this road in this area. This is where somebody would go for a peaceful bike ride. So what I'm guessing here, people, is that some car came out. I mean, that's, there's not going to be any witnesses in this area. There's a good opportunity for somebody to just cut her off, and grab her and throw her into a car, and nobody would ever see it. Right. I mean, it doesn't seem to me like this is the type of area that would have a whole lot of traffic. I mean, I'm going to try to find what was it? West Highway 50? Was that what it was? I don't know. Hold on. Yeah, West Highway 50. Okay, hold on. No. Can't believe I misspelled Colorado. Wow, that went pretty far away there. Okay, that's Utah. That's not where we need to be. So yeah, I can't seem to cross. So all right. So I mean, I'm still after what I've seen, I'm still under the impression that it's probably a very, very remote area that that there's only a car that comes through there once in a while, which is probably why she chooses to take that bike route, because there's less danger in that sense. Not danger in the sense of being picked up and kidnapped. That's the opposite, but danger in the sense of getting hit by a car, and away from the hustle and bustle of all that traffic too. It seems like the whole point of what she would want is less cars coming through so that she could connect with her environment. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking I have no reason to believe other than, I'm not discounting that thing, that like it's almost always the husband, it's almost always the boyfriend, right? But guys, Shane Carey taught us that that's not always the case, and as far as recent cases go, Shane Carey taught us that that's not always the case. So to me, it's worth, if that's all there is, to go on, is it's usually the husband. Well, that's not enough for me, man. That's not enough for me, because what I'm getting is that these people were very, very successful. They were very happy, and I mean, who knows? Who knows? But that's the impression I'm getting so far. Other things may come to light later. I'm sure other things will come to light as far as their personal lives go. But I urge anyone who follows this case to try to take inventory of the things that are relevant versus the things that are irrelevant. Because again, you got to keep in mind, these are real people with real lives. They're not just characters in some drama. This is this is a family that's going through a very, very, very hard time, and Lord knows what's going on with Suzanne and where she is right now, and the family is struggling with this right now, we have to assume that that's where everyone's mind is at right now, and try to keep hope, genuine hope, going for this family, that Suzanne is returned home safely and unharmed. And I just realized I said something. I said earlier that Heidi Broussard was pregnant. No, she had an infant daughter. Sorry about that. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, but Heidi Broussard, unfortunately, was not returned home safely, but baby Margot was. And we have to keep in mind that that's a bright side to these things. And that teaches us that we can hold out hope, and some good can come out of this. Hopefully, the best possible scenario can come out of this, because the best possible scenario is very, very possible still. I admit it's unlikely. I admit that. But it's possible. And, I want to use any positive energy that I have towards hope, for this family and for Suzanne, that she is brought back to them safely. So that's until I understand otherwise. That's where I'm going to stick to. That's what I always do. That's what I'm going to do here. And for anybody who is interested in this case, share the information on this case with social media. And Breakfast Club has been dropping the tip line. So share that tip line anywhere you can on your social media, and try to make people aware of this, and what is going on with Colorado? That's what I want to know. Why is Colorado the center for this place? I have a really good friend, a friend that I'm going to see, my best friend, and she lives in Colorado Springs, which, like I said, I'm going to be there. Just so happens that I'm going to be there during the time for Letitia to go to court. So I will be discussing that live from Colorado Springs, and pretty much coming back to you with anything that I gather. So make sure that you are tuned in for that, and you're subscribed, so that you get notifications when I do go live. But this is crazy to me, because a lot of cases just keep happening in Colorado, and so far, I'm going to play the news conference from the Chaffee County Sheriff, you got to hand it to these. Here's the thing about Colorado too. You got to hand it to these Colorado law enforcement agencies, man, because this is just some crazy new rash. I mean, I guess it's got to be coincidence. I don't know, but it's a rash of crimes that take place here in Colorado, and these crazy crimes and cases. Now, we don't even know. I want to be clear. We don't even know if a crime even took place here with Suzanne. And I'm hoping that. I mean, history kind of just dictates that a crime probably took place here. And honestly, it's been 8 days, guys. And it's been, we know that the chances of finding someone safely just get shorter and shorter the more time goes by. But let's hope that if a crime did take place, that it's just a kidnapping. Maybe it was for money. These are pretty wealthy people, it seems like. I don't know what their net worth is, but they seem to be doing well for themselves. And maybe it was just somebody who planned a kidnapping, and she'll get returned safely, and the reward money will benefit in some way here and actually, go towards bringing her back home safely. Let's hope that that's the case. But let's hear from the Chaffee County Sheriff.
Became a missing person on Sunday, the 10th. Her investigation still remains the top priority of the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office, and it is a missing persons investigation. Being that it's a top priority with the Sheriff's Office, we've solicited the help of many local law enforcement agencies, but we've also solicited and received the help of the Colorado Bureau of Investigation and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and they are here now, and they're actively working with us on this investigation. We've spent countless hours searching for Suzanne, and I want to thank everybody that's been involved in the investigation. But I also want to thank the community and even our social media community. We have pictures that have been published, and the top priority in this is to find Suzanne. And so I want to thank everybody for the cooperation we've been getting, and we ask that you continue that support. We've started a tip line with the assistance of CBI, and I want to give you that tip line number right now, because that's kind of our lifeline for this thing. And if anybody has any information, whether you think it's little or big, we encourage everybody to call that number and give us that information. And I'm going to give you that number right now. It is, tip line number is 719-312-7530. I want to give you a little brief recap of what we've done since we received the call of Suzanne's disappearance on Sunday. We've, in the area and in the general area, we've run foot searches using air support, canine support, swift water support, and we've also utilized countless hours of drone searches. We've used well over 200 personnel, and over 2,000 man hours have gone into this search. But unfortunately, we haven't found Suzanne yet. And as I stated before, that is our top priority. Yesterday afternoon, which is Thursday, in the area of County Road 225 and Highway 50, we did find items that we believe were personal items of Suzanne Morphew, and that launched a bigger search we had today, which included the full closure of US Highway 50 on Monarch Pass. In that search, we used today well over 90 searchers that are well-trained individuals from both our local agencies as well as the FBI and CBI. We searched over 2.5 miles using grid patterns. Unfortunately,
I can't help but think, man, this poor guy, man, kudos to these Colorado agencies, man, seriously, because they're not used to this stuff, man. Every time it's in a new area that area in Colorado has not dealt with. And you know, these guys, they really step up, man. Like the Chris Watts case, man, they I mean, I think law enforcement nailed that. I think they did a couple of things that I thought were a little messed up. You know, the you know, I'm not going to get into that. I don't want to start a whole Chris Watts debate because you know I'm done with that case. I don't care about that case anymore. But it's valid to bring it up in the sense that you know, in my opinion, that the law enforcement agencies in these different areas of Colorado, they end up just kind of stepping up and dealing with these things. And you might just be dismissive and say, oh, it's their job. But, you know, this isn't like it's New York. You know, this isn't like it's, you know, some major city in the United States where murders happen all the time and it's just another day at work. So in a sense, that's actually a plus, because it's more likely that these officers are going to become more personally invested in finding Suzanne and finding her safely and bringing her home. Because I do believe this man. I do believe this sheriff when he says that he believes that she's alive, and they are acting on the assumption that she is alive, and the plan is to bring her home.
We found no other items in that area at this time. We're in the process right now reevaluating where we are with the information we received. I want to let everybody know that we are receiving information, and so we're constantly reevaluating that information, and based on that, it'll determine what our actions are tomorrow searching. However, I want to remind everybody that while we're doing this, the investigation continues. Okay, so as I said before, this is a top priority of ours, and we're working very hard on this. Once again, it's just so important to thank everybody for the outpouring assistance we've gotten. We've gotten a lot of requests from the community for volunteer searchers, and we really appreciate the assistance. However, in this type of an investigation and search, we're using trained personnel, and so we have to tell these people we're not accepting this help, but we do appreciate the offer. So I want everybody to.
I love that. I love that this man is being very tactical. He's saying, you know, right now we're using trained professionals only. We do not want someone, you know, as helpful as they're trying to be, and you know, as great and wonderful as it is that people really want to contribute and help in finding Suzanne and bringing her home safely. You know, they're not trained, so they could you're upping the chances greatly of someone inadvertently contaminating a crime scene, and or you know, missing clues. So it makes sense to stick with trained professionals at the moment. You know, so I definitely, I really admire that decision on his part.
To know that. Once again, I want to remind everybody that the tip line is 719-312-7530, and we've published many pictures of Suzanne, so we encourage everybody to take a look at that, and if they have information, call us.
Right now, I guess we'll open it up for questions. If you could raise your hands, we're not all starting. That would be great.
The question was if I can repeat what the items were found. Just so everybody knows, I can't offer any information on any clues or anything we found during this investigation. It is an open investigation, and so we can't disclose that information at this time. Yes, ma'am.
So in chat, for those of you who are following this case, drop some guesses in the chat as to what you think the item that they found that they're not revealing is, that belongs to Suzanne. I'm curious.
Question is do we believe she's still alive? We're certainly hopeful she is. Obviously, as time goes by, it gives us concern, but we're searching as though she's alive, and we do believe she could still be alive. Yes.
Okay, see, that's comforting hearing that too. Okay, so I've got Caleb saying keys, and on and on. What's up and on and on? She's saying shoe. Allison Faye is saying jewelry. Norma Thomas is saying keys. Well, her bike was found. We're talking about something else. We know that her bike was found. Carrie, we know Carrie Stillman that her bike was found, so we know that so far. But I was thinking the helmet. There's a picture of her wearing a helmet, so she wore a helmet riding her bike. So if I'm guessing, I'd say her helmet. Glasses, possibly. She could have been wearing sunglasses. I mean, wedding ring. I mean, purse. So I doubt that she took her purse with her to go bike riding. Most people don't. I'm guessing that there probably wasn't. I mean, who knows how far she rode her bike? People ride their bike for miles. I mean, I don't ride outdoors, but when I do cardio in the gym, I do a total, if I can, most of the time, I do a total of 15 miles on a bike, on an elliptical bike, where I'm moving my arms too. And I'll do 7.5 before my shift at work after I do some lifting, and then I'll do another 7.5 on my break. And so, to get the proper exercise, she's probably doing something very similar, but we don't know if she's keeping that short because there's probably a lot of inclines in that area. It's the mountains. So, it's Colorado, man. There's probably a lot of inclines and decline areas, but inclines that would take her time to really struggle and pedal to get up to. So I'm interested to know what the distance was on her average of riding a bike. Because I don't think that she would have probably stopped at any stores. That's what I'm getting at. I don't think that she probably, depending on how rural the area was that she chose to ride her bicycle, but there's probably a gas station or something nearby that would have security footage of her at some point. But I just don't know. Right now, I'm thinking, I mean, the only thing that makes sense, if they found her bicycle and they suspect foul play, somebody picked her up on the road and threw her into a vehicle and took off. It's the only thing that makes any sense to me right now.
Sir.
You gave the tip line. If the community members are trying to search for, what can they look for? How can they reach out?
Question is how can the community help us in the search? As I stated before, the biggest thing that we are looking for is any information that anybody has. If they're in the area on Sunday the 10th, call the tip line. If they see somebody that they think resembles Suzanne, call the tip line. Anything they think is important. It's like we talk about in national security. If you see something you think is suspicious, call it, because you never know. And this is the same case.
Well, Blake 1720. What the issue that I have with that? The issue that I have with that is that if they found her bike, if they found her bike in the area that they say they found it the same night, that indicates to me that she was on a bike ride. So yeah, it makes sense to me that she, based on the information that we have so far, is yes. Based on the information we have so far, Wanda Strickland, yes. I think that she, it just makes sense to me that she was picked up and put into a car or a vehicle of some sort, somewhere in this area that there's not a lot of traffic. Nobody saw it. So oh, sorry about the echo, guys. If I turn my mic off, it doesn't happen, but I can't comment as we watch these things if I do that. So,
important calls. We're going to look into it. We have a lot of people working on this, and we're working on everything we can. And excuse me, we just appreciate any help we can get. Question is, she's an avid biker, and if we're searching normal routes, it's my understanding she did bike quite a bit, and we've searched nearly that. We've searched that whole area. It doesn't mean that we're not going to keep searching, but if we expand our search, it's based on what we find and information we receive. So we're not ruling anything out, but we have to evaluate that information on a daily basis. Sure. Question is clues, and if we recover the bike. Once again, I can't comment on any items we found or any part of the investigation. Okay, if we're still looking at an animal could be involved on any open investigation, obviously you don't rule out anything. We've not found anything that would indicate that. However, we're always evaluating. We've been in that area so much. We're always looking, obviously, and any clues we have, we're going to follow up on.
How many tips have you received?
You know, I don't have that information. However, as far as specific, I have talked to our investigators. We've gotten a lot of tips, and it seems as though they're picking up as the word gets out. Now, I noticed on our Facebook page alone, the sheriff's office, we'd reached close to 500,000 people. That's important. That's a lot, and we get those reaches by shares on Facebook. So I encourage everybody, if you get the information, push it out to other people, because that's how we get the information out.
I love that this dude is like, you know, if you've got the, you know, if you hear about this, get it out there. You know, you never hear these guys saying that. So, guys, I see this honestly, you know, and a lot of people, I you know, I get on creators' nerves for being this idealistic type, but I feel strongly about that, man. I feel strongly about the fact that as YouTube creators, we can responsibly put out our opinions on these things, you know. But imagine how much help we could be as YouTube creators if we actually all used our platform so responsibly that it actually helps law enforcement and it helps them get their case solved. I think that would be amazing. You know, in a perfect world, that would be great, but I don't think it takes a perfect world to get there. I really think that, you know, we could just try to be as ethical as we can. None of us are perfect. I've screwed up and I've done unethical things. I know. But I think it's really cool to finally hear a law enforcement, a leader here in law enforcement, a sheriff of this county, say that, you know, share this stuff on social media, talk about it, get it out there. And, you know, most of the time you hear the opposite. You hear these people saying, man, the social media makes it so bad. And it does, because people end up throwing really nasty information out there, and they start rumors and they harass the victims' families, and it just gets really ugly, man. And people start exposing things about their lives that you know, that 90% of the time are irrelevant. But just because it could be relevant, they feel this justification in putting it out there. And I just disagree with that. These are really, you know, these are real people, and they deserve to go through this in a peaceful manner if they can, you know. And if we can talk about these things and try to stick to the facts, you know, maybe this will lead to someone with information coming forward. Maybe it'll lead to actually coming up with some sort of theory that may help the police, where they actually take someone seriously when they talk about these things on their YouTube channel, and use their channel responsibly. I don't think I have the talent to do that, but I know there's a lot of talented creators out there that can do that, with a lot of followers. And when they do, I personally feel really inspired, and I love when that happens. So yeah, again, I I know that side of me gets on a lot of people's nerves, but that's not going to change, guys. That's just who I am. Uh, but for the most part, I'm a fan of these other creators. I really am. Even some of the ones that I've gotten, mad at and expressed things at. I mean, can't take away from the fact that they're good investigators. They do a lot of really, some digging and get to things that a lot of other creators just don't have the tenacity or resources to do. So I give these creators credit where credit is due, most definitely. I'm just a guy who's a fan of YouTube and what it can do, and what the possibilities are. And so just like if I criticize a movie, I know that we're all just entertainers here, but when we talk about these cases that involve real life people, I feel like there's a moral responsibility to try to keep a level of empathy for everyone involved, as best as you can. I haven't always been that guy, but I try to be now. So I don't want to sound hypocritical either. I'm just being honest as to where I would like to go with this, and where I'd like to see it go. Because I mean, right now, guys, I've talked about it in other lives, that the media is so they'll spin anything. I've inadvertently dedicated my channel to pointing this out. When I had Colton Harris Moore on here, when talking to him and hearing him completely debunk these things that the media spun about him, hearing it come out of his mouth and say that never happened, things that made him look cool, things that added to his folk legend, his barefoot bandit persona, which he hated, because he was just like, I want to be known for who I actually am. Putting the truth out there is so valuable, because here I was, and I did a 3-part thing on Colton, a 3-part live, where I just talked about this guy and showed all these videos and all these news things about him, and he we're all watching it going, Jesus, man, this guy was amazing. And what's funny is the great things about him turned out to be absolutely true. He just debunked certain details about him, but the media also spun negative things about him too. And having someone who doesn't talk to the press sit there and tell you that that's not true, that's not true, that's not true, that's not true. It's valuable. It's valuable. It's valuable to have the truth, because I've become friends with the guy and I see him in a completely different light. But at the same time, the person who I just got the vibe he was is definitely there. And what was so rewarding about that experience was that he trusted me. He didn't talk to all he did was watch my channel after I left a comment on a video that he posted on his YouTube channel. I just left a comment, and then he watched my videos, and then he watched the 3-part thing that I did on him. And then he contacted me and emailed me for for a discussion. And I don't refer to it as an interview. I don't refer to it as an interview because I'm not a professional journalist. And I'm not trying to be a professional journalist. I'm an entertainer. You know, I just get up here and I talk about the things that I express my opinions. But I try to, I try to keep in mind that people listen to this stuff. And I try to keep in mind that people listen to this stuff and people depend on my opinion to develop their own. I don't agree with that, but it does happen when you're a YouTube creator or an entertainer of any type whatsoever. There's going to be one or two people, at least that really take what you have to say to heart. And so I try not to take advantage of that in a negative manner. I try to use that responsibly, and I think if we all did that, we could really make a difference with this platform. That's just my opinion. So, oh, thanks, Carrie Stillman. That's really nice. I appreciate that. And Caleb, every time Caleb drops this comment, I gotta highlight it and talk about it. Except for the person who said on panel, I have no moral responsibility to be correct. Yeah. I'm just never gonna let that person live that down. That was a pivotal moment for me where I was just like, man, okay, I do not want to be on a panel with this person again. I cannot. Nope. Nope. And yeah, thank you for dropping that too. Breakfast Club is killing it tonight as a mod. I appreciate you. There is the Justice for Mandy Gorsuch petition, guys. So I highlighted it here, but please click on that. It just takes a second. If you're new to the channel, hey, Susie Pops. If you're new to the channel, please take a second to click on that and sign the petition for Mandy Gorsuch. I have talked about her numerous times in this channel. Yeah, I'm not going to tell the story again tonight, but I've talked about Mandy's case many times. If you can Google it, the person that we are trying to bring to justice, his name is Zachary Simmons. And I definitely encourage and I ask you to take a second to sign that petition and kind of educate yourself on that case a little bit, because I think it'll piss you off. Yeah. That's the thing, Rockabilly Daisy. The most suspicious thing that I think so far, again, with the Suzanne Morphew case, the thing that the one thing that I find a little suspicious is the neighbor calling 911 and reporting her missing so quickly. I found that weird. So I mean, but again, I went over why it could have been fine. You know, maybe it's just a nosy neighbor. You know, but right now I'm just, until I again, guys, I think it's irresponsible for me to assume that a crime took place by somebody that she knows. I mean, I do think a crime took place, but I don't think it's fair for me to assume the worst and still hope that she returns home safely. So I'm just hoping that I'm hoping it's a ransom kidnapping, and somebody just has it's just business mindset. And that's all that is. I'm hoping that that's the case, but I'm not counting on that at all. I'm definitely not counting on that. Oh, okay. And on and on. That makes sense. I did not know that. If that's true, then that makes sense too. That one of her daughters actually called the neighbor and asked her to call. But why? Why would the daughter do that? That kind of doesn't make sense to me. Why wouldn't the daughter just call and report her mom missing? Why would she ask the neighbor to do it? Why would she use her phone to call the neighbor to get the neighbor to make a call? That doesn't make sense to me. So, and Rockabilly Daisy, I don't blame you for feeling that way. A lot of people feel that way. Again, I'm a realist, people. Don't get me wrong. I'm a realist. And the fact that it's been 8 days, man, is not a good sign. I realize this. But I think it's important to still hold out hope that she's okay, because we don't have any evidence that she has been hurt yet. Maybe the police do, but we don't. So there's a lot of us out there, man. That's a lot of and it's funny. I'm not a religious guy. I remember when the Heidi Broussard thing happened, right? And I remember I was on DWAP's channel that night. And I remember we were just praying, and I don't pray, but DWAP is he's a man of prayer. And so I felt it was necessary to join him in prayer. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel as though that had something to do with baby Margot being found unharmed and safe. I really do, because man, my heart was really in it. I'm not a religious guy, but I noted Rockabilly Daisy. I feel, that night, because my heart was genuinely in it. Whether anybody else's heart was in it or not, it's not my problem. That's between them and God, or whoever, or the universe, or whatever. I know that I genuinely put my heart into that prayer, that they would be okay. Now, Heidi did not come out okay, but baby Margot did. And I believe to this day that had something to do with it. I do believe it. I believe that to this day that me and everyone else who genuinely put their heart into it, that was in that chat, had something to do with that. There was a lot of people watching. Rockabilly Daisy, I always dig your comments. You're dope. Don't you worry. I'm always digging your comments. Right, man. I mean, anything is possible at this point, man. Anything is possible right now. Again, we're looking at an area that probably didn't have any traffic cams. I mean, if somebody premeditated this, they had the perfect opportunity to do it, to pull it off. I mean, if they knew the area that she rode her bike, if they knew the area where she rode her bike and knew when she was going to go out for her bike ride, they had opportunity. They had a very, 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 very strong opportunity to pick her up and take her without a trace other than leaving her bicycle there. And for all we know, the bicycle could have been taken with them and then dropped off later, like thrown, discarded later somewhere else. We don't know. We don't know. But guys, I really appreciate everybody logging on and everybody being really cool in the chat. I'm probably, I don't know, I'm probably gonna go over that video again. The one I did the other night. And yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it sucks that I had to delete it, that I had those technical difficulties. I tried to edit it and then it got rid of the chat. And that's really what bothered me the most. I deleted it because it got rid of the chat. And again, guys, like, this is part of the whole stream. You know, I want people who watch replays to be able to look over the chat. I rewatch these things and look over the chat again so that I don't miss anything. And it's the chat's an important part of this. It's the most important part to me. So I appreciate everybody logging on and participating in chat. And if anybody had supported to the PayPal and I didn't see it, I apologize, but I do appreciate it. Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and call it. But I really, really appreciate you guys for hanging out with me tonight. And we are going to be talking about this some more as things develop, because now I'm just now I'm just invested in this case right now. So there will be more. I will be discussing these things as we move forward, as the case progresses. Any information, any new information, I'll go over it and talk about it. But guys, special thanks to my mods. You guys are amazing. Mignon, Breakfast Club. I know it's late, so the other guys couldn't be here, and I never tell anybody when I'm going on. But great job tonight, guys. I really appreciate all your help, dropping all those links and everything. Guys, we'll do this again very soon, my friends. Thanks again.